Hi, my name is Athena Campbell and I'm an educator for the Watershed Ecology Center, and the purpose of this video is to give insight into how we plan to continue educating students about the importance of and protecting our watersheds as we deal with different schedules and everything that's happening right now with school systems. Our goal is to still be able to reach your students, and we want to maintain those relationships that we've built with all the schools in the upstate and the teachers that we've just spent time cultivating for the past 20 years. So if you're not familiar with our programs, you can visit the USC Upstate website. We're located on there, and you can see, you can find information, you can see video clips, just lots of different things that'll help you understand. The website is uscupstate.edu/WEC. So due to the current uncertainty with all the different schedules at different schools, right now we are just planning to constantly monitor, and we're going to adjust our schedules and just be really flexible about how we reach your schools and reach your students. I'm going to model a program today. The program that I'm modeling is called Shadow Show. It's a first grade program that's very popular. We tend to say that all of our programs are our favorites, but I think this is truly one that is our favorite, that we enjoy doing with boys and girls every time we take it to a school. What we will do is we will have a kit. You'll hear me refer to the kit. It'll be either in a Rubbermaid container or a huge plastic Ziploc bag. We will drop those materials off at your school. They will be sanitized when they come to your school. You are not responsible for sanitizing them if they require pickup. You will be responsible for in between your students. Like if you use it for 2 days due to a hybrid schedule, you'll need to wipe everything down with provided Lysol wipes in order for you to be able to use it again. Now, some materials we will not have to pick up because those programs use disposable materials, but some we will return to pick up the materials. If a grade level schedule does not allow a live virtual visit, we can also pre-record a video for your students, and we can send that to you for you guys to watch and use along with the dropped off kit at your convenience. We also are aware that some students either already are or may at some point be working completely virtual. And so our plan is there that we will encourage students to watch the lesson portion of the video and just be creative with what they can find at home and around their house in order to do some of our activities. This program normally takes between 30 and 40 minutes when I do it in a classroom with a full group of first graders. So you're talking, between 20 and 25. But for the sake of this video not taking so long to watch, I am going to go through how we would facilitate this program virtually, but I'm going to condense it. I'm not going to make it last the time that I would expect it to last if you guys were actual first graders watching me virtually and interacting and asking questions. So if you're ready to be a first grader, I'm ready to pretend that you guys are my virtual students, and we're just going to work through this kit. I will stop and explain sometimes, so I may kind of go in and out of talking to the first graders and talking to you guys as adults, but just to kind of give you an idea of how this will work and what you'll actually have dropped off at your school and the interaction that's going to take place. So let's pretend that we're first graders for a few minutes. So like I said, the name of this program is Shadow Show, and obviously we are going to learn about shadows, but as we learn about shadows, we'll also learn about light and how light travels and just some different things, some really cool things about light. Now, the materials that will be dropped off are the ones that you're going to see right here in front of me. I have my cards that I'll use to help teach, but each student will have a mirror, and none of these will be shared. And like I said, they'll come to you clean, and we'll pick them back up, and you won't, as long as you're not using them more than once, we'll clean them after we pick them up as well. But each student will have a mirror. Each student will have a dinosaur toy that we'll use to create the shadows. Each student will have a flashlight, and each student will have 3 pieces of plastic. These will be used to teach how light passes through different materials. So you've got a clear, a black solid, and then an opaque one. So it's a foggy looking, not opaque, a translucent one. So it's the foggy one, almost like a frosted piece of plastic. The other stuff that I'll use will be here with me. So I'll just use that to show your students virtually, or if you choose the video option, to show your students with the video. All right, so good morning, guys. Good morning, first graders. I see you on my screen, and I hope you guys can see me. This isn't normally how I come and visit, but I'm so excited to actually see you guys there listening to me. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about shadows and light. So if you'll start by looking at the picture that I have here, you guys are going to notice that there's lots of different colors. Do y'all see the different colors? She's kind of silly and has a green face and a blue wall and a yellow skirt and a brown table. If you look around your classroom, do you guys see lots of different colors? I know you do, all those colors. Well, what I want you to remember about seeing all these colors is that the reason we see things and we see colors is because of light. If there were no light, we wouldn't be able to see the colors and we wouldn't be able to see objects. And so that light is very, very important to us. Who can tell me where are some of the places that we get light? Let me see if I can see your hands. Oh, I see your hands. I'm gonna let your teacher pick a friend to tell me. Ah, right. That's one way we get light. That's another way that we get light. And I have a card here to help us too. So you can see all the different sources of light where we can get light. We've got the sun and fire. Somebody said that one, didn't they? What about light bulbs? Right, I think I had a friend say that one too. But all the different sources of light. And all of these are very, very important to us. Now, do all lights look the same to us? What do y'all think? Let me see what I can hear. Y'all are right, not all lights look the same to us. Some lights are brighter than others and some lights are dim, and we call that intensity, and that's not a word that you have to remember as a first grader, but think about if you're ever riding in the car with your family at night. Some of the lights on the cars are brighter than the other lights, and that helps us to see. And so usually the brighter the light, the better we can see with it. So just remember, if you ever have 2 flashlights, your flashlights are going to be different. One might be brighter than the other. Now we're going to talk about how light moves. And I know it's going to be kind of hard to see because I'm not going to turn my lights off on this video, but in your classroom, your teacher's going to be turning the lights on and off, and so that's going to help you see. But if I take my flashlight, I've got one here, and you have one, don't pick it up yet, but let's watch mine. If I take my flashlight and I shine it straight up to the ceiling, that light travels in a straight line. So if I shine it on my hand, can y'all see it on my hand? It doesn't travel in a zigzag, it doesn't travel in a curve. That light travels in a straight line. And so we're gonna experiment with that. Y'all ready? Everybody pick up their flashlight. All right, everybody click it and shine it towards the ceiling. Do y'all see it up there? And so it's traveling in a straight line. Now sometimes light can do something called reflect. And the word reflect means that that light bounces. At night, when you're walking around outside, if there's a full moon, does it look like the moon is lit up? It does, doesn't it? But guess what, guys? That moon doesn't have any light of its own. The light that we get from the moon is actually coming from the sun. And so the light travels from the sun to the moon and it bounces back. It reflects back to us. And so I know you guys don't have one of these in your classroom, and it's gonna be a little bit hard to see on the video, and I would probably dim the lights at this point so they could see, but a disco ball is like the moon. Disco balls don't have any lights, they just have mirrors. And since those mirrors reflect, they bounce the light. If I shine my flashlight on the disco ball, y'all can see it reflects. I think I can probably make it, can y'all see it reflecting on my shirt? So it makes those lights bounce. So now you guys get to experiment with making light bounce from a mirror to the ceiling. All right, so your teacher's gonna turn your light off, turn the lights off. Everybody's gonna take their mirror that's on your desk that your teacher's already given you, and we're gonna shine our flashlights down. You have to promise me that you keep your flashlight shining down. Nobody can shine it up. and then we're gonna look at the ceiling and see if the light bounces back. All right, at this point I would stop and give the children a few minutes and the teacher a few minutes to experiment with reflecting the light off of the, from the flashlight, off of the mirror to the ceiling. All right, and then the next activity, guys, that we're gonna do is we're gonna see how light passes through different materials. So what I want you to pick up, not yet, but just in a minute, you're gonna use these 3 pieces of plastic. Let's see how the light passes through. Look at this one. This one's kind of hard to see because it's clear. But if I put my flashlight here, it lets all of the light pass through. And so this one doesn't block any of the light. The foggy one lets some of the light pass through. And so it blocks some of the light. But then the black one, it blocks all the light. And guys, there are big special words for that. The black one's called opaque, means that it blocks all the light. This one's translucent, it blocks some of the light. And then this one is transparent because it doesn't block any of the light. And so at this point, I would pause and I would allow the teacher and the students to experiment with shining, and I would model it, shining their flashlights through the different materials onto their desk or onto their table. And that way they can see how the light passes through. All right, guys, the last activity that we're gonna do is probably gonna be your favorite. It's called the shadow show. All right, your teacher will have given you a little piece of paper or a card, and it's gonna be folded. You're gonna put it in front of you like it's a little movie screen. It stands up like a tent. Then, this is what you've been waiting for, we're gonna take our dinosaur friend and you're gonna put him or her, it can be a boy or a girl, between you and your screen. So y'all see my dinosaur friend? He's gonna go right there so that it's me, it's my dinosaur, and then it's my movie screen. I know y'all can't see my dinosaur, but I'm gonna make him walk right there so you can see him. And what do y'all think about this dinosaur? Do you think that he is translucent, transparent, or opaque? Do y'all think he blocks the light or he lets the light through? Let's see. I see a hand. Yes, you're right. He blocks all the light. And since he blocks the light, he creates a shadow. When you walk around on a sunny day and your body blocks the light, what do you make on the ground? Right, you make a shadow. So we're gonna make a shadow show with our dinosaur. So he'll go in front of you and you'll shine your light on him and he'll make a shadow right on your paper. I'm gonna move mine over here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but maybe, let's see if my arms are long enough. Let's get him here, him there, and you can see the shadow right there. And this is where I would stop, and with the teacher's help, we would go through activities where they create their shadow show. We would take a second to get it all set up, and then we would do things like make the dinosaur get big and small. So I've got cards that would guide us through everything so he can be tall and short. And we would talk about how with a shadow to make the dinosaur shadow taller, we would actually move the flashlight up and down. To make him shorter, move it up and down. To make him smaller, you get closer to him. To make him bigger, you get farther away. To make him move to the right, you move your flashlight to the left. Everything's opposite. And then to make your shadow move to the left, you would move to the right. So just the different movements and how that changes the shadow of their dinosaur on their movie screen. And so we would spend time, usually I give the students 4 or 5 minutes for them to experiment with just making their dinosaur move and dance and just make a show. So it's a very hands-on program that involves what seems like a lot of stuff, but it's really not a lot of stuff. And like I said, we'll supply those materials and sanitize them and also be prepared to come back and get them. So just lots of learning in this one and lots of hands-on. And again, one of our favorites. So obviously I know you have more questions. Email us, just let us know what your questions are and we'll answer them as to the best of our ability. But like I said earlier, we are hoping to still be a part of your school and still be a part of your classroom, even though we can't physically be there. Have a great afternoon.